Hey guys, it's John here again from Silent Sky Studios, and what we're going to talk about here today is answering the question, why should I use your studio? Because that's a perfectly legitimate question for someone to ask. A lot of folks will say, hey, why should I come out to your studio to record my album? Why not just spend a few $100s on some home recording equipment and set up a small home studio and do it at home? I think there are a few questions to ask yourself if you're considering recording an album at home. The first question is, do you have a suitable space in your home that's going to provide a good acoustic environment to record the instruments in? Of course, the instruments are only going to sound as good recorded as what they do in the room. And so, do you have a good space that has adequate room, good acoustics? Is it going to block out enough background noise? And for that matter, is it going to keep in any noise that's going to annoy your neighbors when you're trying to, finish that guitar part at 2 a.m.? So that's a question. The next question is, do you even own all of the equipment that you're going to need to properly record, mix, and master your songs if you intend to also do your own mastering? The next question is your equipment capable of delivering a professional quality sound? A lot of entry-level microphones and multi-track recorders or recording interfaces are not going to deliver the quality of sound that you're going to be looking for to release an album commercially. The next question is, do you have the expertise, do you have the skills to get the most out of your equipment? It's not necessary to always have the most high dollar equipment, the most high dollar, the most expensive microphones or preamps or converters or whatever. But can you make the most of what you've got? Many of us, myself included, are so naive that we think when we first get into this whole recording thing, we think, if I buy some decent mics and a decent preamp, a decent recording interface, then I'm just going to set everything up and press the record button and it's going to sound like $1,000,000. But if you've been there and done that, you know that that's not the case. There's so much skill involved, whether that's mic placement, knowing how to select the right mic for the right job, your mic selection, whether that's proper gain staging when it comes to your preamps and any other devices that may be in your signal chain, such as a compressor or whatever the case may be. There's so much skill involved in recording that it's not just as simple as having some halfway decent equipment and setting everything up and pressing record and everything sounding, like pro quality stuff. The next question is, can you record enough simultaneous tracks to be able to do what you're trying to do? If you intend to record a full drum kit, then you're probably going to need a minimum of, probably 4 tracks, and more realistically, you're probably going to need to be able to record somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 tracks simultaneously. So if you just have a very simple recording interface that only has a couple of inputs, a couple of mic pre's built in or whatever, then you're going to have a difficult time, recording that drum kit. And for that matter, if you plan to record an entire band, if you plan on tracking recording the basic rhythm tracks together, like the drums, the bass, the rhythm guitars, you're going to need even more simultaneous inputs for recording those tracks simultaneously. So that's a question. The next question is, when you're recording, do you really want to bother yourself with all of the technical details of choosing the mics, of setting up the mics, of setting the levels, of having to troubleshoot any problems with the equipment, having to connect up different pieces of gear that are going to be used in the signal chain? Do you really want to bother yourself with all of those technical details, or would you rather focus on delivering your best possible performance and leave those technical details to a skilled engineer, to someone who knows what they're doing, who's been there and done that, and knows what they're doing, and can deliver the kind of quality sound that you're looking for? I don't want to discourage folks from recording at home, but again, you need to be realistic with your expectations. I would encourage anyone who plays in a band or sings or writes songs, by all means, get yourself a simple, a modest recording setup for recording at home. You'll gain some valuable experience about the recording process that'll come in handy when you get into the studio. But if you're recording at home, concentrate on writing great songs, on delivering your best performance, and leave the technical details to a pro studio, because I read an article a couple years back by a guy named Ronan Chris Murphy, who is he's a well-known recording engineer and producer, and the name of the article was "Home Studios Are Killing Music." And what he points out is that with the proliferation of home recording equipment, and with the way that the prices have continually come down, and home recording equipment is more affordable today than ever. But the point that he makes is that a surefire way to stop your music career dead in its tracks is to get serious about setting up a home studio, because what inevitably happens is that you become obsessed with recording gear. Instead of buying a new amp or a new guitar or a new drum kit or whatever, you're going to be obsessing over buying a new microphone, new preamps, new converters. You're always wanting to buy that next piece of gear for your studio that's going to take you to that next level, then up into the upper echelon of recording. And many guys do that. You start a modest home studio, but you become obsessed with it. So, by all means, get into home recording. Learn what you can about the recording process. Focus on writing great songs and creating great arrangements, and really getting your parts down, and then come into a studio and let us obsess over all the technical details, and that way you can just focus and concentrate on delivering your absolute best performance. And I hope that some of these questions have helped you consider whether or not it's worth it for you to come into a studio like what I have here. For any of you guys, once again, for any of you guys who are in the Jonesboro, Arkansas, or Northeast Arkansas area, or Southeast Missouri, or even Memphis. I'm located about an hour from Memphis. So for any of you guys who are looking for a local studio, then I hope you'll consider us here at Silent Sky. We've got the website up at silentsky.net, so go check that out, and thanks for watching.